Okay, all of you, there are now 23 students. I can start it. Within 2 minutes, I will start it. Okay. Have you gone through the notes or the videos which I had sent it earlier? Please go through it. If you haven't gone through it, please go through it, because otherwise you will not understand the concept. Okay, so 8085 programming concept you will not be clear if you haven't gone through the earlier notes or the videos. Okay, if you have purchased the book, then in the book also you can there is an instruction set, second chapter. That chapter, the description is given proper. Okay, so you can refer to book or to the PDF notes which I had sent it. Okay. Okay, so last time we had seen there are registers in 8085, which is nothing but called as the internal memory of the 8085 microprocessor. And those registers are 8-bit registers, so it can store an 8-bit data at a time. And the pair means when there are two registers together, they can store a 16-bit number at a time. The names of the registers you must understand, or you must remember. The names of the registers are A, B, C, D, E, H, and L. These are called as the general purpose registers, which are mainly used in the programming of your 8085. And because of the answer, suppose if you do any arithmetic or logical operations, whatever answer you get, because of that answer the flags will be affected, and that particular status of the flag will be shown by a status register, or called as the flag register. So flag register is an 8-bit register which you will be using in the practicals every time, and there can be a one question in the theory exam also on the flags. So there are 5 flags: sign, zero, auxiliary carry, parity, and carry. Sign, zero, auxiliary carry, parity, and carry are the 5 flags. Okay. Now I will quickly go through the earlier sessions. Earlier we had seen what are the instructions of 8085. Okay. The instructions of 8085 are written in the language which is called as the assembly language. So assembly language is nothing but a mnemonics, what you say. Okay, and that has to be converted into machine language which is of zeros and ones. Okay, so Atharva H कौन है बाबा? Okay, so this is assembly language. So you will have to use the assembler to convert it into zeros and ones, or like see in C++ you use what? You use the compiler to convert the higher level language into zeros and one, that is the machine language. Here you will be using the assembler, but not here you will not be using the assembler, you will be doing it manually. Okay, and then this assembly language will can be converted. Who is Atharva H? Do you know anybody knows Atharva H? H म्हणजे surname I don't remember. Assembly language programming you will have to do. The instructions are written in the two parts. One is called as the operand, and second one is called as the second one is called as the operand. Opcode and operand are the two parts. Opcode gives you the operation, and operand is nothing but the actual data to be operated upon. These groups of instructions are classified into 5 groups. One is called as the data transfer group instruction. The second one is called as the arithmetic instruction, logical, branching, and machine control. So arithmetic instructions will do all the arithmetic operation. Logical instructions will do all the logical operations. Branching instructions will transfer the control from one place to another. And data transfer group will transfer the data from one place to another. Machine related are nothing but the interrupt related, or suppose if you want to stop the program, then such type of, or the stack related, that we haven't yet seen. What do you mean by the stack or IO devices? So these are the different instructions. So these are the groups of the instructions. According to the length of the instructions, the instructions are classified into 1 byte, 2 byte and 3 byte instructions. Okay, so 1 byte, 2 byte, 3 byte instructions are very important when you are doing the uh, practical. Okay, so you need only 1 byte to represent that particular instruction. See, whichever instruction you write, that has to be converted into the hex code. That hex code can be maximum of 8 bit. Okay, 8 bit hex code you will have to convert it. So many times you need 2 hex bits, 2 8-bit hex bits, that is 2 bytes. Many times you need 3 hex codes, that is 3 byte instruction, and many times you need only 1 byte, that is 1 8-bit code to represent that particular instruction. So 1 byte, 2 byte and 3 byte instructions, these are the different types of instructions according to the length of the instructions. In order to use these particular or convert the assembly language into the uh, codes, we use such type of sheet which is called as the opcode sheet. In the practical exam, this opcode sheet will be given to you. So these codes you need not have to remember. These codes, right hand side codes, these 898A, these codes you don't have to remember. You'll have to just, you should know these mnemonics. Okay, these mnemonics, left hand side mnemonics you should know, and then using this opcode sheet you can convert it into the hex codes. In the theory exam, you have to just write these mnemonics. You don't have to write the hex code. Okay, so no opcode sheet will be given to you at the time of the theory exam. In the practical exam, the opcode sheet will be given to you. 306 and 307 are the page numbers of Supekar book, if you have that book with you. Okay, so that is how you can convert the assembly language into the hex code, that is machine language. Then data transfer group of instructions, I am not going through it, I will just mention those particular instructions. The syntax you must remember, these are called as the syntax, MOV syntax. What it does is it moves from one register to another or register to a memory. M is a concept which I told you in 8085. It is a concept which is similar to your pointer in C++. In C++, you use the pointer, right? If you remember, correct? int star ptr, you write. That means, what is the meaning of this integer star, for example, p? This is how you have written. That is, p is a pointer whose contents are of type integer. So p is always pointing to the address of the memory location. Okay, so suppose if I equal to 4, if you say, and I is one type of integer. This is in paper 1, you must have already studied it. Okay, so p equal to always shown by the address of the I. So I is nothing but 4, that is the value of I. Where that value of I is stored is nothing but called as the address of I, and p will be always the address of I. Similarly, in 8085, there is a concept which is called as the M concept, that is memory. It is nothing but the contents of the pointer, but the pointer is nothing but what? Your HL register pair. HL register pair मध्ये जे काही number असेल 16-bit number, that will act as an address, and the contents of those address is nothing but M. So this particular part you must remember it while writing the program. M always relates with the HL register pair. I think if possible, I will show you one video. There is a 16. I think it's not possible for me to show it. It's not getting shared. Can you see it? Had seen that there are. Everybody can see it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So concept of M I am talking about. 16-bit address of 8085, right? So the address combinations were from 0000. This is a 16-bit number. 4-digit number is a 16-bit number. This is in hexadecimal. Okay. So the contents of these address are F3.
Next address is 31. Next address is 40. Okay. So the last address which it can have is nothing but FFFF. If you see the contents of this address, these are FF. Okay. These contents can be changed if it is RAM area. Now the next address will not be this. It will become 0000, right? So this is nothing but 0000 to FFFF are the combinations of the addresses. This we had already seen. Now this is the address and this is the contents of the address. That means this is your pointer in C++. This is your pointer and these are the contents of the pointer. So for example, if I want to see the contents of, for example, the 7000, then the contents of the 7000 are nothing but in this case 0E. Now when this address is in HL pair, that is H has 70, L has 00, the contents of HL will be 7000, that is 7000, and the contents of that of the addresses. This
you were able to see it or no? I think Mihir was not able to see it. Okay, but suppose if you haven't understood, you couldn't see the video, just remember that HL has whatever is the address, that contents of the address will be denoted by your M. M always refers to the contents of the address specified by the HL register pair. So these are the things. Then data transfer group of instructions, I said, from one place to another. Okay, it just transferred. The source register has to be here, the destination register name has to be here. So if I say move D comma L, the contents of L registers will be transferred to D register. Actually copy hota. Okay, so if L is 0F, D is 05 earlier, we are all assuming the numbers, then your D value will also become 0F. This is your move instruction. Similar to that, you have MVI instruction. You have to mention the register name in the instruction. MVI, then you have to mention the register name or M, and then you have to write the 8-bit data which has to be copied into that particular register or memory. So if I say MVI A05, A becomes 05. Then we had seen, I think LXI H, okay. LXI instruction is similar to your MVI instruction. Instead of register, it is now register pair. So 16-bit number has to be mentioned because the register pair can contain 16-bit number. So this 16-bit number will go into that particular register pair. MVI R kartana 8-bit number was transferring into the register. LXI RP kartana, the 16-bit number will be transferred to the register pair. So LXI H 0705. So H becomes 07, L becomes 05. Okay, then you had other instructions, LDA and STA. These are opposite instructions. So just remember the opposite instructions and remember the similar instructions. When you say it is a opposite instruction, means whatever function this instruction does, exactly opposite function this particular instruction will do. The contents of 16-bit address will be transferred to A. So LDA 16, then you need a 16-bit number, 6000. So 6000 contents are F2, then A becomes, and earlier suppose A was 00, then after execution of this instruction, your A value will be the contents of 6000, that is F2. So A becomes F2. So exactly reverse process STA instruction does. A value will be getting transferred to the address specified in the instruction. So whatever is the value of A will be transferred to the specified address. So that address value becomes 00. These all are, we are assuming these are the data units. Then LHLD is similar to your LDA instruction. So whatever is the 16-bit address contains, we are transferring to the accumulator in that case. In this case, the 16-bit address contents will go in L and the next address contents will go in H. So that is the two consecutive addresses are used. Though you are mentioning 6000, 6000 and the next address, that is 6001 contains, will be transferred to H and L register respectively. And then you have opposite instruction to that LHLD, that is nothing but called as SHLD. So whatever is in H and L will be transferred to the address and the next consecutive address. Then we had seen LDAX RP instruction. So here whenever X is there in the instruction, you have to always remember that the register pair is taken into account. So LDAX, then RP, that is BC or DE register pair you can use in this particular instruction. This syntax you have to remember. Okay, so LDAX B, if I say, that means whatever is the address in BC registers, BC has the 16-bit number. So that 16-bit number acts as an address, and the contents of that address will be transferred to the accumulator in this case. Indirectly, it is taking the contents of the address, but that address is in BC or DE register pair, depending upon you are writing LDAX B or LDAX D. So exactly opposite is your STAX instruction. Accumulator contents will be transferred indirectly into the address which is specified by BC and DE register pair. Then we had seen exchange instruction. It just exchanges the contents of HL with DE. It cannot exchange the contents of BC and DE and or HL and BC. Okay, you have only one option, HL and DE contains are exchanged. So these were our data transfer group instructions. In and out instructions also come under the data transfer group of instructions, and they also come under the IO group of instructions. So that time we will study these particular instructions. So them quickly I have taken this particular topic because we have already done that particular topic in the earlier sessions in detail. Then we had seen the arithmetic instructions. I cannot find instructions. Arithmetic instructions. One thing, can you see this? Can you see this slide?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Can you see now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So arithmetic instructions, one thing you have to remember, arithmetic instruction, whatever is the arithmetic or logical operations which you are doing in arithmetic or logical instructions, one operand must be in the accumulator, that is A register. The answer will be mostly stored in the accumulator, always you can say, except one or two instructions. So in this case, these are the instructions which we had studied. One is nothing but simple add instruction. So add, then you have to mention the register name or the memory. The contents of that register will be added with the accumulator and the result will be stored in the accumulator. All the arithmetic instructions affect the flags. Data transfer group doesn't affect the flags. Then we had seen ADI instructions. So move MVI, add ADI, subtract the SUI. That's you have to remember. So ADI, and then you have to mention the 8-bit number. That 8-bit number will be added into the accumulator and the answer will be stored in the accumulator. Then you have ADC and ACI instruction. This is called as add with carry, whatever are the register contents or the memory contents. When you are adding more than 8-bit numbers, a number for example is a 16-bit number or a 24-bit number. The simple decimal numbers, how do you add? Units place you don't have a carry, but at tens place you have a carry. So when you are adding the tens place digits, you add it with the carry. Similarly, ADC and ACI instructions are used with carry whenever you want to add the number. Then we use the ADC or ACI. They have the similar function as your add and ADI instruction. Then we had seen subtract instruction. The subtraction is done with the 2's complement method in 8085. The microprocessor only will take the 2's complement of a number, and add it to the number which is from which it is to be subtracted, and then it does only one thing, it always complements the carry. Carry in case of subtraction always is supposed to be a borrow म्हणतात त्याला. Okay, so whenever you are subtracting a smaller number from the bigger number, a carry will be generated by the 2's complement method. So actually there is no borrow when you are subtracting a smaller number from the bigger number. Microprocessor automatically complements the carry. If the carry is there, it will make it 0. If the carry is not there, it will make it 1. Okay, so 1 in the carry position means there is a borrow. So जसं तुमचं subtract instruction आहे तसंच SBB instruction is nothing but subtract with borrow. SUI instruction is nothing but subtract immediately whatever is the 8-bit number from the accumulator without borrow. Okay, so A equal to A minus whatever is the 8-bit number. Again, this is done by the 2's complement method. जसं add ADI होतं तसंच SUI आहे. त्याच्यानंतर जसं ADCR होतं तसंच SBBR. Subtract with borrow whatever is the register contains from the accumulator, and then you had SBI, that is subtract with borrow immediately whatever is the 8-bit number. So just go through all these notes. Then the important instructions are DCR instructions and INR instructions. This will decrement the any register contains by 1 or increment the register contains by 1. In this case, all the flags are affected except carry flag with the DCR instruction. All flags are affected except carry flag. Okay, DCX instruction, X it relates with the register pair. So the register pair contains will be decremented by 1 or incremented by 1 depending upon you are writing INXH or DCX. Okay, so INR will increment the contents of the register by 1. INX will increment the register pair contains by 1. That is a 16-bit number will be incremented by 1. And in the earlier case, 8-bit number will be incremented by 1. Then we had seen the DAD RP instruction. DAD RP instruction is nothing but your addition of the register pair contains with HL. Add मध्ये कसं होतं तर register plus the accumulator contains answer was stored in the accumulator. Here HL plus register pair contains the answer will be stored in the HL register pair. Only carry will be affected. That also when the 17th bit is generated, at that time the carry flag will be affected. And one more instruction which we had seen was nothing but decimally adjust accumulator. Whenever you add two numbers 5 plus 5, the hexadecimal addition is done, right? So 5 plus 5 you get 0A, but if you want the addition as 5 plus 5 10, that is you are assuming that you are adding two decimal numbers and the addition should also be the decimal value, then we use the DAA instruction to convert the hexadecimal number into a decimal. So we had taken 2-3 examples for that. Suppose 05 plus 05, if the lower nibble is greater than 9 पाहिजे इकडे, okay, greater than 9 or 0A किंवा 0A पेक्षा जास्त असेल, then 6 will be added to the microprocessor, okay, automatically, and then you will get 0A's answer 10 you get. Similarly, if the higher nibble is greater than 09, then your 60 will be added and so on. So that is nothing but, or if both the nibbles are greater than 9, then you will 66 will be added. So these are the nothing but the different instructions we had already studied. That's why I have taken it so fast. So please go through those particular notes and please read those instructions. So today I wanted to start with the logical instructions. So what do you mean by the logical instructions? You have any difficulty in these instructions? कोणाला difficulty आहे का? Anyone has the difficulty? You want me to explain any one instruction or two instructions again? or I can start with the logical instructions. Okay. So logical instructions are nothing but the name suggests that the logical operation will be done with the this type of instructions. Okay. Now, what are the logical operations which you had studied in 11th standard? One is called as the ANDing operation. You are able to see it, right? Second one is ORing operation. Third one is XORing operation. And then the complement or the inverting operation. Okay, so not operation. You are able to see the screen, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so AND operation, you must remember the truth table of the AND operation. What is the truth table? Bitwise ANDing operation we are doing. When both the bits are 1 or both the inputs are 1, output is 1 in case of AND operation. In case of OR operation, what is the truth table of the OR gate? If any one bit is 1 or both the bits are 1, that is if any one input is 1 or both the inputs are 1, output is 1. In case of XOR operation, if both the inputs are different, then only the output will be 1. And in case of complement, if the number is 0, it will become 1. If it is 1, it will become 0. Okay. So all these operations, you have the instructions which is called as, for AND operation, you have an instruction which is called as ANA instruction. Always one number has to be in the accumulator. Okay. And then you have to mention either the register name or the memory. So what will happen? It will AND the contents of the register or memory with the accumulator. Okay. So answer will be again stored in the accumulator. So accumulator contents will be nothing but, see, whenever I am using the round bracket, that means it is the contents of that particular register. Will be nothing but A, contents of A, and then you use the AND operation with the contents of the register or memory. Okay. Now suppose if I say ANAB. Okay. Now let us assume that the contents of accumulator are nothing but 07 and contents of B register are nothing but, for example, E5. All these are hexadecimal values, right? So H will represent your this. I will take one more, for example. Oh, only 10 minutes are left. 67 and E5. What will be the 67? How do you write it in binary? 8421 code you have to use. 4 plus 2 is 6. So 0110 0111 is nothing but your 67, right? It is ANDed with E5. E means what? 14, right? So 1111, 1110 and 5 is 0101, correct? Now when both the bits are 1, the output will be 1 in case of ANDing operation, right? Here one of the bit is 0, so output will be 0 here. Here both the bits are 1, so again output will be 1. Are you understanding what I am talking, or am I going too fast? 0 0, the bit will be 0. Students, please give me the answer. I cannot understand whether you have understood or not. After ANDing, what is the contents of the accumulator now? After ANDing, what is the contents of the accumulator now? $65. So the new contents of the accumulator after ANAB, now accumulator contents will be nothing but changed to, accumulator contents will be changed to 65. This is how the AND operation is done in 8085. Bitwise ANDing will be done. So a 4-mark question is always there. what these are the contents of the register, these are the contents of the accumulator, what will be the contents of the accumulator after execution of so and so instruction. So they ask most of the time 2-3 logical instruction, 1 arithmetic instruction. So if they ask you if the contents of A is 67, contents of B is E5, what are the contents of accumulator after A and AB? Then the answer will be 65. You will have to show this process. Got it? Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now similar to AND, there is an OR operation. So the instruction is ORA. And then you have to write the register name or the memory name. So it is easier. The logical instructions are easier to remember. Okay, ORA, that is OR accumulator contains with the register or the memory contains. So same example I will take. A has 67, B has E5. Then what will be the contents of the accumulator after execution of this? So 0, 1 ORing operation. So it will be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. Okay, OR operation, if one of the input is 1, output will be 1. Don't add it. Most of the students make a mistake. They add it. 1 plus 1, 0 kartat. Okay, it's a OR operation. It's not an adding operation. Okay, so 1, 1, 1. In maths also you must have studied OR, XOR and all that. 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. So what is the answer in the accumulator now? It is, so conversion of hexadecimal to binary and binary to hexadecimal is must. Okay, you must remember how to convert the hexadecimal number into binary or binary to hexadecimal. Got it? OR operation. If you haven't understood, please let me know. Now XRA operation, if it is there, then you are XORing the A and the register contains. So what I will say, the instruction is XRA instead of A, or it is ORA, it is XRA. Okay. Now tell me what will be the output of this. XOR operation, I already told you, if both the inputs are different, the output is 1. So 0, 1 output will be 1, 1, 1 output will be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. So what is the output in accumulator now? It is 82. All the numbers are assumed to be in the hexadecimal. So I think this is the, there is hardly 1 or 2 minutes left now. So I hope you have understood these 3 instructions, ANA, ORA and XRA instruction.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so tomorrow, not tomorrow, Monday, we will either on Monday or Friday. Okay, let me see. We will do the next logical instructions and then we will go to the branching instructions. Anyone has difficulty regarding the earlier instructions or these instructions which you haven't understood or something?
Ma'am, can you please repeat LDAX RP instruction?
LDAX instruction. LDAX instruction, what it does, it is something like you, when you say, if you have understood the move A comma M instruction, move A comma M instruction, what it does, it transfers the memory contents into the accumulator. M is what? M is nothing but the contents of the HL, right? That's a content.
Yes.
Okay, double contents. Similar to this, if instead of HL I have the register pair like BC register pair or DE register pair, then I don't have a direct instruction like this. So what I will say is LDAX. Then I will say is LDAX, and then I will write the register name. So BC or DE. So whatever is the address in BC, the contents of those address will be transferred to the accumulator. So these two instructions are same, but here M is nothing but your HL register's address madle contents, and you don't have any notations for the contents of the address of the BC or DE. So you will have to use this instruction. These two are similar instructions. Got it?
Okay, ma'am. Yes.
Anyone else? Till 2 minutes are there. Okay, should I end the meeting now? Friday is okay for you, or directly on Monday should I take?
Friday is fine.
Friday is
Yes, ma'am. Friday.
okay. Okay, then
Yes, ma'am. Friday is good.
Friday I will take, so that logical instructions will be covered. Okay. Okay, so see you on Friday then. Please pay the fees. That is the message which is given by our principal to you all. Okay. Thank you.